Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the Champions League edition. I have with me Dean and Coach. Fellas, how's the Champions League been for you guys today?
You know the answer to that already.
I mean, in general, man. Like, I know what happened today, but in general.
I think some really big shocks in general. Some stuff that Celtic doing really well is the biggest shock for me. I can't lie. That is really fucking me off. I can't lie. But yeah. Overall, yeah, good week so far.
Yeah, the AC Milan results is still spinning me. I'm sure we'll get into that in great detail.
Yeah. And my Donny van de Beek agenda lives on, and we'll get into that. But Zagreb, they beat Brasistelia 4-1, and they just look dominant. That's really all I can say about that game. There's really nothing much to take away. They just dominated from start to finish. So nothing really there to really dissect the fact that they just are better than them. But PSV Girona, I had this game on yesterday, mostly because I saw Donny van de Beek start, and I was just like, I know y'all going to lose. And they lost 4-0. And they also got a red card as well. So PSV finally got some points, and good for them. Girona, they were the darling team last year, right? For everybody, and then all of a sudden they just lost so many players, and it's been downhill for them in club and Champions League. It's not looking good for them at all.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a disaster by any means. I mean, you mentioned the context surrounding it. We've seen this happen.
Yeah.
Scores of times at this point in various leagues where a team does well, they get picked apart, they go into bigger competitions, they struggle, It's to be expected. Not that they'd like it. The red card was really silly, deserved. But yeah, great result for PSV, and I'm especially pleased for Malik Tillman because he had a rough weekend against Ajax. I think they lost like a 40-something game unbeaten streak in the league, PSV did last weekend, and he was unfortunately partially responsible for that goal. I think they were trying to build up from the back. Someone gave him a ball in a bad spot. He lost it. So to come into this game, and I believe he got a goal and assist in it. Very good for the form, very good for the rep, very good for his chances with Pochettino, so good on him.
Yeah, and his throw-in, I'm not sure if you saw it, Coach, but he technically was out. But,
I'm not talking about any officiating, so please just drop me out. Just drop me out.
I didn't think it was out, though. Like, it looked suspicious, but they said his foot was still on the line, and we kind of know the rules surrounding lines. But in real time, I thought it was definitely a foul throw. I was like, that's a foul throw, but they said his foot was on the line, so.
We don't make the rules, right? We just follow them?
We do not. We don't follow them either. We just complain about them,
Yeah.
That's also true as well. Dortmund, they broke the rule and they got a last-minute winner. Daniel Milan, the 85th minute, they beat Storm Graz 1-0. So good on Dortmund. They've been picking up a little bit of form. Go ahead.
Can I ask? Malin's record in these sorts of games, he has a knack for them, doesn't he? I haven't looked up, but I can think of like 3 or 4 games in this calendar year where he's come up with the goods, like in a big game for them. And I genuinely am very, very pleased for him. Arsenal alumni and all that, but genuinely, like it's good to see. Like he's not always been the main man at Dortmund, but he has a knack for saving their ass.
Well, you're not wrong about that, but he will never be the main man because that's Guirassy, as you've mentioned, week after week after week.
Yeah.
And I don't know that. I mean, it's a Champions League game, of course, so all the points count the same in this league format, but a winner against Storm Graz is not what I'm giving you props for, my nigga.
They're a game. It's a game you expect to win. Nobody else is coming up with anything, and he finds a way again.
Fairs.
Yeah. Leipzig, they lost to Celtic 3-1. They went up 1-0 to Christian Baumgartner. And Nicholas Kuhn. He reminds me of a former Green Bay Packers fan, of John Kuhn, when they were screaming out his name Kuhn. When he scored twice, is the first thing that came to my head.
I don't want to fucking talk about Wisconsin. Fuck Wisconsin.
Well, hey, listen, it is. But yeah, they came back, beat Leipzig 3-1. And they look really good for their money. They got, they were like, okay, we're going to beat your ass now. So
this is all Coach, man. You're the one that's familiar with Celtic's history of failure in this competition.
Listen, man, there is no bigger shock than there's not a bigger shock to me this round of fixtures. Genuinely, I know Eastman are there, but they're really like Celtic are bad, guys. Like, let's make no mistake about it. Celtic are not a good football team at all. And
who's their coach, by the way?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, right. Brendan Rodgers, yeah, is a smarmy, thinks he's better than he is, piece of rubbish, right? Maybe it's a bit harsh. Maybe he's just a piece of shit. And they've managed to look like quite good in quite a few Champions League games. And considering that most of the time that Celtic turn up in the Champions League, they ship at least should I say 3 to 4 goals. And they've been putting in work this season. I'm genuinely, especially against, sometimes obviously they play the Real Madrid or whatever else, but sometimes they'll be losing against teams that don't have as big a, if you like, global brand as them. And they'll be losing them like convincingly. And this season, I think like they put on their big boy pants and they could make the top 24.
Yeah, like I think every year for probably the past decade, the assignment for Celtic in the Champions League has been don't embarrass yourselves. Like, show up and make a fight of it, like because you're representing an entire country, an entire league in Scotland. And we know the standard has dropped since we were young, but to just show up and lose every game all the time. I mean, I'm pleased for them because this season they can point to progress. We'll see if they continue it because this alone, the results they've got in these first, 4 games so far?
Yeah.
Are enough to keep Brendan Rodgers, even if he somehow loses the league to Aberdeen, which won't happen. But even if that sometime were to happen, the fact that he showed some progress in the Champions League after years of futility, credit to the smarmy prick.
Yeah.
Speaking of smarmy pricks, Real Madrid, they lost 3-1 to AC Milan, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
It was not even close. Vinny did a little bit of magic, got a little penalty, and then, unfortunately, Milan just showed up against them.
What's so unfortunate about that? Like, there's nothing unfortunate about that at all. Like, this was a clash of the two OGs of this competition. And on current form, current players, you think, I mean, over the weekend, I predicted it for Madrid. But this doesn't really feel like a shock when you look at current form. Like Real Madrid are in one of those moments. Every team has them. You go into a losing streak, you spiral a little bit. Like people have sort of figured out your non-existent tactics, the fact that your players don't press from the front. Even though Carlo changed it a bit, gave Jude a little more license. Bro, I don't want to pick anyone out, but there's clearly one person who showed up over the summer that has changed the dynamics and the rotations in that squad, and I'll let coach take it from there.
Look, man, I think Thierry Henry had a really good segment, but he didn't say anything that people didn't know already. People that watch both players and know Real Madrid, to be honest, there is a real lack of understanding, I feel like, from the wider public of what this Real Madrid squad currently is. They're incredibly young still. Like people, I think that's I know Modric brings up the age quite a bit, but you look at what surrounds Modric in that midfield, and they've got bags of experience from winning and shit. They're still a young team, and you put in a personality as big as Mbappe, and it's almost like mixing bleach with whatever chemicals else you wanna mix. Like you might get the results that you want, but there's going to be a lot of mess along the way. So
it's gonna smell bad. It's gonna stink.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So Mbappe in this analogy, yes, is bleach kind of thing. He's gonna get the job done, but your nostrils, you're gonna lose a few nostril hairs along the way. And it's the whole dynamic of it's been the most worst kept secret. Real Madrid players potentially might have felt a bit undermined from them being linked to him every year, thinking, "Wow, we're winning Champions Leagues, bro. We're winning the league and everything year in, year out, and you're still talking about getting this guy in to make us to make sure that we're truly back. Like, how much more truly back can you be if we're winning the Champions League every other year? Like all those sort of things matter. And then now I feel as if it's translating onto the pitch because Carlo, I know we give him a lot of credit for being hands off and shit, but that with these group of players, I genuinely feel like they probably need a bit more of a guiding hand. Like Mbappe needs to be told to shut the fuck up and do your laps as a number 9. Vinicius needs to. I think Vinicius is actually is in a decent space, but I think Vinicius needs to even be even more selfless. Do you know what I'm saying? Sacrifice even more for the team, especially tracking back. Valverde, I think it's time to learn right back at this point. And yeah, like Camavinga's being treated like the side chick at this point. Tchouaméni being injured, I suppose, is a good thing for Camavinga, but it shouldn't have to come to that. He should still be playing the games.
No, Tchouaméni being injured is a good thing for Tchouaméni. because what I've seen him do in the last couple weeks, including this game, it's just
it's not good, bro.
It's not good. That's why he's getting linked to other clubs right now, because you're looking below the standard, and we all know that you're better than what you're showing. But he could use that break, like a month off out of the spotlight will help him. But moving over to Milan, I mean, credit to them. Like, we've given Rafael Leão pelters on this podcast for, his body language, his attitude, his lack of tracking back. But if you play like this, if you have people bouncing off you, if you have Lucas Vasquez voting for far right parties because he hates black people after yesterday, then by all means, do what you do, my brother. Like, he was incredible in that game. Like, I can't even remember what anyone else did, because that run for the assist to Reinders in that game, oh my God. Like, you can't do your fellow professionals like that, man. They got kids. Some of these niggas got kids and wives.
Fellas, did y'all see what he did on Instagram? He did a carousel of pictures, and there's a picture of Lucas Vasquez with his hand around his thigh and around his, like, basically Lucas Vasquez is on the floor, Leao smiling at him, looking down.
That's the cover for the pod, actually.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I love that part of the game now where players can take it beyond the pitch a little bit, just the extra dig, just to make sure people don't forget. But I think what's interesting with Leao is that we all know what's going to happen on the weekend, and that's the issue with Leao, because he's going to do this shit at the Bernabeu, and whoever they play on the weekend, he's going to be completely marked out the game and be anonymous. That's the issue with Leao. We know you can do this, bro. We know it. That's why there's even extra harshness on you, because it almost seems as if, well, I can't be bothered today, kind of thing. It's like you shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. You're not 17, 18 anymore. Like, you should be every week. I want to show everyone that everyone's talking about this guy should have won a Ballon d'Or. It should be me in those conversations, and there doesn't seem to be that drive, that desire. Like that one Scudetto, I feel like he's like, I'm chilling now. Like, shouldn't be that way, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. You look at the stats, and apparently he's still scored since the Scudetto, he's made the most goals and assists for Milan. So he's still very productive relative to his teammates. But when we look at him play like he did the other day against Real Madrid, there's so much more in him if he just find some drive and really pushes forward with it. But yeah, like, shout out Alvaro Morata as well. Like, apparently Real Madrid is the team he scored the most against, which is
7
crazy.
goals.
He came from their academy. That's hilarious to me. So.
7 goals, man. That's crazy considering how much time he's actually spent there, and he still found time to score 7 against them. That's
and also he doesn't play them that often.
No.
It's always European ties. You don't really play these big games that often, no matter what UEFA wants to do. And to bag 7 against Real Madrid, that's special, man.
Yeah. Tijani Rangers is really good, by the way. Yeah. Special player. Special player, that one. Before we head off of this game, there's a quote from a former Ballon d'Or winner named Karim Benzema. He says, and I quote, and I want you guys to weigh on this: "The problem for me is that Mbappe is not a center forward. Every time he plays with France as number 9, he is not good. It's not his position. The problem is that on the left, there's another player who's at the same level as him. You can't put Vinny on the right or as a center forward where he makes a difference on the left. Let's see how Ancelotti does that. Mbappe's not a 9. There's a lot of pressure at Real Madrid. This is not PSG. A piece of advice he shouldn't give up. I don't think Ancelotti is going to move Vinicius. He's the best in the world right now in that position. Mbappe has to get into it in his head that he has to be a number 9 and forget about the left. He's very good on the left, and now he has to be very good somewhere else."
I mean, I'm glad that my opinion is echoed by one of the best strikers of all time. That's nice, but yeah, Mbappe, it's time to learn number 9, bro. Like, really, like, Dean, I think you said it on the weekend. Real Madrid will humble the shit out of you. It doesn't matter who you are, and this is it's happening for Mbappe. Think of everything that he's done in his career so far. He's quite literally been told yes everywhere. He's been the main man everywhere, right from when he was dancing at the Etihad with Funeral Home Falcao, like, all the way up until PSG, all the way up to the World Cup final. Like, he's been the man. Like, Nike centering their whole shit around him. Like, he's been the man. Now at Real Madrid, it's like, holy shit, like, Bellingham's here and Vinicius is here. Do you know what I mean? Modric is here. Like, I feel kind of, I don't feel as gigantic as I usually do. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You think by default, like, going to Real Madrid, to a team that clearly didn't need you, even though you're Kylian Mbappe, you'd expect a little more. At least I would have expected more humility in his play. Like that Thierry Henry segment that you mentioned of him showing the analysis of Mbappe not making runs in behind and Jude making the runs constantly, and you're not making runs in behind, you're not showing to play with your back to goal, why are you there?
Yeah.
Like, just sub yourself out if you're not going to try it, nigga. Like, it's, I'm sure it's going to get better at some point, but we need, at a bare minimum, we need more work rate out of you. You know, then from there we can start asking about the goals and all the rest. It can't just be, I wait for my chance, I score, I don't score. That's all I'm doing in the game, because that's all he's doing so far. You know, he almost got one, but Magic Mike was in pretty good form in this game as well.
Great save.
Actually, won man of the match. I don't know that Real Madrid created that much for him to be winning man of the match. And he looked really silly on that disallowed Rudiger goal. But you know, black
great
goalkeepers.
technique.
Yeah.
Hey, and also, one more person who played very well, Malik Diaw, played very, very well. Had them niggas on Rikers Island. He was
scored
doing
the opening goal, you know.
He did very well. But yeah, last thing on Mbappe, he went from being the guy to now just being a guy. So it's tough, man. Like you said, Real Madrid will humble the shit out of you. And
damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie.
Quite literally.
What happened to you? The fuck happened to you? Lille Juventus. Shut the fuck up.
You can't tell people to shut up on a podcast. That's the whole point of a podcast is talking, bro. Let him talk. Let him talk his shit.
I saw you getting excited. I was like, shut the fuck up. Zagova, he did a madness to set up Jonathan David, who had a really good finish. And now you can talk.
Look, man, last round of fixtures in the Champions League, wasn't I waxing lyrical about this Zagova guy? So I'm here again to tell you, man, like, he's legit. He's legit. I think I'm very much enjoying this 2-man game, you know, underpinned by Angel Gomez doing work as well, like just the overall picture of Leo in general. But yeah, when you've got that quality on the wing, and you've got someone that will finish consistently, you're always gonna have a chance against any and everyone. Like, they've done it against Real Madrid, they've done it against, well, they've almost done it against Juventus, kind of thing. Lille can be a problem in the Champions League this year, man. Like, in cup competition like this as well, when you have attackers in form, they can get you out of trouble. They just can. You see it every year, every other year, potentially, like in the Champions League for as long as I've been watching. There's always one team that they're a good team, kind of thing, but they're not the best, but they have two absolutely informed forwards, you know, potentially even three, and they're the ones that's just getting them through games, kind of thing. And I see the same thing with Lille, man. That's just it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else to take away. I mean, they're more of the story than Juventus. Juventus will figure it out eventually, but Leo were more impressive to me. They just did the thing. Liverpool, Leverkusen 4-0. Liverpool beat the brakes off of them. Luis Diaz got a hat trick, and that chip goal he scored was very rude, but it's also very delicious. So,
yeah, I was really feeling the Curtis Jones assist in this game. That was lovely. Because I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously. Liverpool are leading the league, and I'm still in the mode of I don't really see it for these niggas and all that. But that, you have to give them credit. I know Leverkusen aren't in the best form, but putting 4 on them, you know, lots of teams can't do that. You know, so, and on top of that, those 4 came in the second half. You know, Arne Slot, like, he just got there, but one thing he seems to have a knack for, halftime changes. Like, they go in, if they're not playing well or playing to the level that he expects, he either makes changes via substitutions or changes something about their strategy. And it seems to be working for him every time. You know, like, even at the Emirates, they came out and pressed a little higher up the field in the second half. And while it didn't necessarily change the game or anything like that, you know, they still needed Arsenal's players to defense to fall apart a little bit. It made a difference at the end of the day, you know. So he did it again against Xabi Alonso, who was supposed to have that job, if we were listening to Liverpool fans last season. You know, so I'm hoping for their own sake that they don't miss their ex anymore, you know, because they should have moved on with this Baldy, man. For sure. He's been doing well. Great start.
Yeah.
Cody.
Go on. No, go on.
No, I was saying Cody Hakpo scored as well.
Yeah, lovely header.
Great header. Yeah, great cross as well. I think with Liverpool and with this whole atmosphere thing at Anfield, Xabi Alonso mentioned it, right? And a lot of people, myself included, have disrespected it because, let's be honest, it is overplayed, kind of thing. But Alonso spoke about how much of an effect it has on Liverpool's players, right? And how it can give them the extra 10% essentially. And I think that's, as much as Arne Slot, like, obviously made the changes, I feel like you can give a bit of credit to the atmosphere really pushing the players forward as well. Like, we see many a time in Europe, you know, no homo, like the ball's been sucked in at the Hop End. You know, like it's happened time and time again, and to get 4 in the second half, like Leverkusen didn't just fall apart. Liverpool found the extra gear kind of thing, and the fans can help that. It's just that at times in other games it's been overplayed. The fans haven't done anything, kind of thing, atmosphere or not, you know. But I think yesterday was one of those games where it did help.
Some of the goals they conceded were fucking asinine.
Exactly,
like horrible defending. You know, like and I just want to say for future reference, please don't talk about balls being sucked into. Like, come on, bro. Like, we heard you, nigga. We heard that shit. Like, be careful. Be careful, okay? It's a real delicate time in America right now. I don't want to hear that shit.
Well, you know what? We're gonna move on to Sporting Man City. City went up 1-0, and Sporting was just like, you know what? We got something for you.
Yeah. Like if anyone but Foden had scored that first goal, maybe the game doesn't end like that. But when Foden scored, they were like, these niggas light work, you know, because they knew it was some fraud shit. But banter aside, I don't know. Like that score was pretty, you know, pretty emphatic, but that wasn't a 4-1 game, if we're being honest. You know, like
no.
And I guess I'm just pleased for Amorim that, you know, in his last game with with his team before he moves over to Manchester United, they got a really lovely result like this. It's a lovely memory for him to leave his old fans with, and honestly, it's just nice to see City in a rut. You know, I wish they had these 3 losses in a row in the same competition, i.e. the Premier League. But you know what? I'll take it where I can get it. You know, Pep has a lot of figuring out to do because they just look weaker without their best player. You know, like, I mean, if he wasn't their best player, that being Rodri, I imagine shit like this would not be happening. They look so loose through the middle. They don't have a natural defensive midfielder. I'm not sure he's really doing the center back inversion thing at the moment because I'm not watching City that closely. It's painful. But yeah, Sporting ran right through them. That Giovanni Quenda kid that people have been talking about, you know, and
he looked like
I don't want to overdo it with the Gyökeres play. I'm still kind of suspicious because the Portuguese league, I don't know, man, but he also did in the Champions League, coach. So no, still not feeling it.
No, when he went through on goal and tried to lob Edison, I was like, yeah, your head's not in it. You're looking for the Instagram highlight reels, bro. You're not really a throwback to the number 9s that we loved growing up, because real number 9s slot that in with no fuss and reel off like it's nothing, like they're a postman, and you're there looking for a chip, put in the back of the net and get on with it.
He still got a hat trick though, right?
I'm sounding like Roy Keane, I know. I'm sounding like Roy Keane, but that really annoyed me. Put the ball in the back. You're 1-0 down. Put the ball in the back of the net. And worry about that.
Niggas said put the goals in the bag, bro.
Bro, put the goals in the bag. Like, for real, put the goals in the bag. But just on City, what's encouraging for them is that on another day, despite them being very loose, that first half could have been 6-0 to them, and I would have been like, okay, that City can do that to you. Like, Haaland won't miss easier. I sure as hell hope he does in the coming weeks, years, or whatever. But he won't miss as many easy chances as he did this game. He hit the bar, I believe. He missed the penalty. Like, he did. He had. I don't know what his XG was. I'll probably have a look, but I reckon his XG this game, personal XG, must have been about 2. Must have been about 2.5, surely. Like that, and that's just Haaland. Like, City created a lot, and it's almost like, you know, I know it's painful memory for you, Tosin, but like I said when West Ham played United, Sporting probably looked at it and thought, okay, these are your hardest punches, and we're still standing. All right, let's go. And it doesn't matter who you are in football. If you throw your best punches and you're not knocking anyone out, the other team's going to get up and they're going to start working your body, and you will eventually start pissing blood. That's just the way it goes. So that was the story of the game for City. Like, they didn't take their chances, threw the hardest punches, gassed themselves out, and Amorim and Sporting took advantage.
Your boxing analogy makes it seem as if you've only ever watched one boxing match in your life. Like, niggas do get knocked out from headshots. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Body and piss and blood. Like, come on, man. There's lots of ways to lose a fucking boxing match.
I mean, for me, right, they woke up in the second half. That's really all it was. Like, they were like, oh, shit, like, you know, we don't have to really fear him like that. That goal before half really, like, kind of woke them up. That Quenda assist was insane. And he's 17. That was a really good assist. And then, like, you know, that goal they scored right as soon as they opened up, like, from the second half. Yeah, they were feeling themselves with that. So, yeah, I do like the fact that Amarim said that basically, like, we can't play like this at United. Like, it's like when I'm at United, I have to basically play in the front foot. Like, we played against a defensive game against City because they're City, but I'm at United now, and I have to play more proactive football. That's what he said effectively after. So
yeah,
luck,
but
man.
we'll see how that goes. Good luck with that shit.
Yeah, not for real. Like not even in a shady way. Let's just see
facts.
how it goes. Yeah.
Facts.
also, you don't have the same quality of technical players. I was looking at some of the way those boys were playing. Like, if Bruno tried that shit in the second half, Bruno would have tumbled over his feet. But anyways,
I'm not letting you get away with that. Okay, like Sporting may be decent right now, but they still don't have as many good players as United do. Let's be very clear about that. Now, maybe in the same league, like if you put that Sporting in the Premier League, they're better than United because they're just a better team. But I think player quality wise, he can make something shake. The groceries aren't bad. The meals might not be good for a while, but the groceries are not entirely shit.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see. Bologna lost to Monaco 1-0. Keller scored a winner in the 86, so good for Monaco. They're showing up. So a lot of the French teams are showing out in this Champions League this season. It's impressive.
Yeah, man, because ain't nothing to do in France, man. Them motherfuckers be fighting with pillowcases and shit, not even full pillows. And they come into Europe all fresh and ready to fuck niggas up and shit. And so far, so good for them.
Also have Monaco next, isn't it? Okay. It's going to be interesting.
Shakhtar beat Young Boys 2-1. Not really take away from that. Club Brugge. I love this game because Tyrone Mings did the stupidest thing in the world.
Great to see him back from that injury, but bro, Unai Emery probably was just hoping that this nigga was out for another 2 weeks after that dumb shit. Like, isn't that low key though? It's harsh, but the rules are the rules. Was it just as bad as what Gabriel did against Bayern last season? It was the same thing, right?
No, but I think no, legit. He actually gave it to him. He actually Martinez actually passed the ball to him, like from the line, from that true like goal kick line kind of thing. And it's just I genuinely think it's lack of concentration from Mings. Like, or should I say, Tyrone Mings.
He been out for a while. So he probably just loves stairs.
So English. It's called him Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, wait, man. We have priors for that. But yeah, I was really glad to see Brugge convert a penalty against Emi Martinez because I'm so fucking tired of people pretending that motherfucker is better than he is. Yeah, but he ain't 2 years in a row best keeper in the world good. I'll tell you that fucking much. Take that for your data.
Feyenoord, they lost to Salzburg 3-1, and it was not close. Salzburg beat the brace off of them. I'm not sure if you guys saw the last goal, but Dauda Guindo, in 86th minute, he scored a banger. And the crazy thing is, Karim Konate almost scored a hat-trick at 20 years old in the Champions League. He smacked the penalty, he smacked the crossbar. Like 20 seconds later, he scored that banger of a goal, and it was just it was a wrap.
Yeah, pretty good goal. I love the we don't see those anymore because usually when people shoot from there, they're shooting from their strong foot cutting in. He was shooting from his strong foot on his strong side, and he roofed that bitch. Like, it was incredible. I'm gonna watch that shit again after we're done with this bullshit. That was a nice goal. Shout out RB Leipzig. I think they're the first of the Red Bull teams to do anything in Europe this season with
Salzburg.
this result, So Salzburg rather, So yeah, good on them.
Atletico Madrid PSG. This one delighted me so much because when Atleti scored the winner, it was right at the end, and they blew the whistle. You could just see the defeat in PSG's faces. Like,
I made a wrong observation. I thought this could have been PSG's night, and I underestimated how much of a bastard Simeone is to take advantage of a inexperienced team. There was no way they were losing tonight. Atleti, no matter how bad they've been. Yeah, they weren't.
But Donnarumma gave this to them. I mean, he comes to Europe and he just starts fumbling. He starts doing rubbish.
He's been crap. Let me be honest, guys. He's been crap longer than he's been good.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a fair observation. Like the teenage Donnarumma is not the same Donnarumma in his 20s. It's not even close.
For one, his hairline has crept backwards, so that can't help. Like that nigga knows he's on TV with his bald spot shining to the world. He's too focused on that. That's why he fumbles all the time.
He's what, like 6'5", 6'6"? There's a word in Yoruba we call for the agbaya. That's what he is, big for nothing. Just there, just doing nothing.
What scares me is that he's technically still a teenager in goalkeeping terms.
Yeah,
like he's been around for that long. He's
So he
20.
was due. No play. We always talk about development not being linear.
Mm.
Even though he already got his big money move to PSG, there
Mm.
was always a chance that at some point he was going to have a wreck in his form. The problem is that it's been going on for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So I'm getting concerned. I almost feel like he needs new scenery, but Raiola probably made him too much money on the deal for him to get an easy move somewhere else. But he could probably use a change of scenery to get his form back in order because I don't know. They pay him too much to bench him at PSG. So
bro, he made his debut at 16 years old.
That's what I'm saying. He's been around forever, bro. Like,
how old is he now?
He's 25.
Damn.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
he's played 215 games for Milan, 87 for PSG, and very nice 69 for Italy. So
he probably got another minimum if he wants it, 15 years in the game if he really wants it, So he'll be setting some crazy appearance records in the very near future.
Yeah.
Brest beat Sparta Prague 2-1. I love the commentator's notary on this. He said, and Brest are ahead. I was like, I bet they are. Well, yeah, they are doing very well. We're very proud of our bouncy friends over there.
Yeah, like obviously they haven't lost players to the extent that say like Girona did, but if anyone thought they'd be this good in the Champions League, anyone would be lying. Big credit to them. Very impressed. I'll probably pay more attention to them because I feel like not only are they going to get out of the group stage, they might fuck around and knock a heritage team out in the very near future. When the games actually start mattering in January, February, and shit.
Barcelona beat Red Star 5-2, and listen, them niggas are on some shit over there. Okay, Rafinha, Leão, all of them, they're on something. But you said, Dean, their time is coming. But they did concede 2 goals, but they also put 5 goals in the back of the net. And that's the aim of the game, to score more, right?
It's Red Star, Barcelona in a great moment right now. I can't question anything, but like I said, one of these days someone will punch them in the mouth, and we'll see how they respond to that. That's what I'm waiting for. How do they come back from when someone finally bursts this bubble? Because I think they already lost to, I think, was it Osasuna in the league? And they recovered very well from that, but I think they need a high profile loss, and we'll see how they respond to that.
Yeah. Into Arsenal. I'll let you guys take the floor with this one.
Do you want to go first?
Nah, man, I ain't got much to say.
You got way more riding this game than I have, but look, I wasn't really happy with how Arsenal started the game, but I was impressed with how Inter started the game. A lot more aggressive than what I thought they'd be. But Arsenal rode the storm and were untroubled for quite literally
the rest of the game.
Yeah, literally the next 80 minutes of the game. And I wasn't particularly pleased with how we went about our business for the rest of the first half, but I was very pleased with the fact that we managed to essentially just control the game. And it's not sparkling, it's not particularly like swashbucklingly fun to watch right now, but it was nice to see that we just didn't go to pieces, basically. Arteta's record, I know it's a point of contention for so many people. It's a stick they love to beat him with. Arteta's away record in Europe isn't great, but I feel like just this calendar year alone, you can caveat a lot of shit, man. Like, legit, you can. It's obviously you want to win these games, you want to put things up, but I prefer to look at the bigger picture and what actually really, really matters in these games. And losing away to Inter can happen at any time. Despite me thinking Arsenal, could have and should have won this game, Inter are Italian champions and they got a fantastic coach. Now, that being said, I know I wouldn't talk about officiating, but it's just incredibly weird to me that someone can get punched in the head in the box, regardless if it's an innocent attempt or not, and you don't get a pen, despite them looking at it. If they didn't look at it, I'd be like, oh, okay, fair enough. But they did look at it. To me, that makes it even worse. But then a split-second decision, I'm sure he had way less time to react than, for example, I don't know, Trossard did when he kicked the ball away, which was really stupid anyway, but he had way less time to react to that ball coming to his hand, challenging for a ball, and they give a pen for that. So a game being decided by that sort of margin really kind of lets me know where Arsenal are at. When you're going through some bad shit is going to keep happening to you until you find a way to come out of that slump kind of thing. And that's where we are. Like, I suppose, Dean, if you want to rap about the second half, you can. I was pleased with it, personally.
Yeah, I thought there was a definite improvement. I think Arteta is still too much enthralled to his original game plan, and two,
Mm,
his hierarchy of the squad.
mm,
I don't have to manage the squad, so I
mhm.
can't question it too much. But I do think Trossard got too many minutes. I think Martinelli got too many minutes. I think we probably would have done more in that second half, despite the fact that we improved quite a bit. Would have
Mm,
done even more if Ethan came on sooner, if Gabi Jesus started the game. I think
mm,
this was a game Gabi Jesus should have started, I think.
mhm. Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't have a lot of complaints. It feels like a process loss. Like
Yeah.
the process of the loss was satisfactory to me. They
Mm,
controlled the Italian champions for basically 80 minutes in their own stadium. Now, I would have liked for them to create more clear-cut chances,
mm.
but Inter had to clear one off the line. Their goalkeeper made a couple saves. Like we probably could have gotten a penalty with a different set of referees.
Bishop
So
literally blocked one from that was a sure goal.
right,
Like,
so I'm not overly stressed about it.
mm,
The key is to just recover from this slump as quickly as possible, because no matter how calm we are about it, the results are the results. You got to get
yeah,
out the slump. So hopefully they can fix that starting this weekend at Stamford Bridge.
yeah. And sorry, so that's one more thing. Just on overall sort of where Arsenal are at in terms of our chance creation, the weekend was pretty much an embarrassment, I think, compared to how we performed tonight in the second half. Like, there was way more intention and impetus on trying to put the ball in dangerous areas, whether it was via a cross, whether it was the fact that we were going long to Havertz when we needed to and shit like that. There is Arteta's clearly watched the tapes. He's realised, look, we're not even giving these guys a chance, basically. Let's give our forwards a chance to actually score goals, kind of thing. And to me, I'm not saying it's good enough, but it's a start. It's a start. And that means that we might be on the cusp of an evolution. Who knows? We might be on the cusp of another tactical evolution from Arteta. But I won't lie to you. I am a bit frustrated by the fact that we're losing games. Losing 3 out of the last 4 games is just
It's unfortunate. It's unacceptable. But Martin Odegaard came on to play the last 5 minutes of this, so that's a positive sign. So
yeah.
I'm optimistic about things. I'm not too worried about Arsenal right now.
Coach, back on the tactical thing. Part of it is him grabbing the ball and getting a yellow card.
Who got the yellow card, sorry?
Mikel, when he grabbed the ball.
Oh yeah. See, that's funny because I didn't know initially the line. I thought the linesman pulled it for something else, kind of thing, and then I realized it was for Arteta. Arteta's got that one. You can't defend that. He's just very, very. He's living the game. Like he wants to play. Like, let's be honest, he wants to play. Like,
pretty much.
If he could, he'd sub himself on.
Yeah, I would. I'm more inclined to criticize a manager for not being, intense about the game than criticizing him for being very intense about the game. I love it personally. It was hilarious.
See, that's why we love coaches with hair. Atalanta beat Stuttgart 2-0. This game to me basically was the revenge of the guys who Gasperini saved, in the sense. Lookman's goal. When I saw Lookman's goal, I immediately thought of what you said, how Lookman is becoming more greedy in front of goal. Like, CDK came off the bench. That was a brilliant assist from CDK. But Lookman's run into the box was very, number 9 instinct and ran to the box. But then, who scored the last goal? Zaniolo.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Another player who we haven't thought of in a while. Zaniolo came on, and it was a really good finish. And he's wearing number 10. So, fair enough. Fair enough. They're doing their thing over there. So Gasperini's got them boys playing very well, and they're picking up results where it matters. So there you go. Good for him. Anything you want to add about this game and keep it pushing?
Keep it going.
Okay. And the last game was Bayern and Benfica 1-0. Musiala scored a header in the 67th minute. They were pushing, and they finally got a goal. So good for them. I was impressed with Alvaro at left back a little bit. He looked solid over there. But overall, I mean, Bayern got 3 points. They were trying all sorts of different ways to score. There was a time where Leimer tried to blast it into the top corner, but it went over. But yeah, they tried their hardest and they got 3 points, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So
yeah, I like Conrad Leimer. Like, genuinely, he's my type of player, man, for sure. Like, I know his hard work underpins a lot of what I suppose I like about him, but he can clearly play as well. But on Musiala, is that
he's just an Austrian Conor Gallagher, whatever.
No. Conor Gallagher wish he had the technique that he had. But Musiala, that's 2 headers in 2 weeks now. That's kind of scary considering what he can do with the ball at his feet. Like, imagine he actually develops the salmon gene, and now he gets up like a salmon and starts putting bullet headers in. Like, that's a £200 million player right there.
Yeah. So, but we got some games this weekend for everyone to look out for. So let's do that. Let's start from the Premier League. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. I'm excited to see this one because how do Aston Villa bounce back? They haven't been good in these last couple of weeks.
I don't expect much from them in this game. Not at Anfield.
Zero. Right. That's probably another 4-0 to be honest.
Yeah, look at how they collapsed last weekend at Spurs. Yeah. Spurs are not that good, so yeah.
One of the players on Aston Villa was saying how the Tottenham Stadium is loud. I was like, okay, all right.
It's loud.
No, to be fair, they've got the acoustics in. Like, go on.
It's arguably the best football stadium in the world.
Yeah,
it's the newest one.
Yeah,
it's the most major elite one. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty big. They did some good planning in there. Can't wait to visit it someday.
Yeah, literally 2 of my friends have been in the last 2 weeks, and they're both Arsenal fans, but it was more for business. And I was like, I'm not going to be too complimentary, guys, but when are the Emirates upgrades happening? Basically, that was the underlying message. But yeah, the one thing I heard about it was they've done something with like the way the toilet bowl shit basically helps with the acoustics. Is basically what I'm hearing.
So, yeah, man, that's why Beyonce was there. Shitting on London. It was great.
Yeah. One of the homies was there for the Bears game, said the same thing. So, hey, listen, they got something good over there.
I want to be very clear. I don't have any friends on like these niggas. Carry on.
He definitely does, guys. Like, guys, let's the distant loner wanderer act. Dean, we know you're a friend. Look at that smile. Look
at those cheekbones.
We know exactly. We know what you are, Dean.
Like, listen, man. My country doesn't support this behavior. Please stop. Don't compliment me.
Should we get SPS HR on the line and she can confirm for us?
Let's talk Chelsea Arsenal. This is the main game of the weekend before we head into, oh my God, we got another international break. But yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like we covered it in the discussion of the Inter game, but I just expect a result. I'm not demanding a win, but I expect a result. At a bare minimum, I need a goal. The team needs to score a goal, so. Yeah. And I'm hoping that if Mikel is in a situation where he needs to make changes, he's a little more aggressive about it. I think he just has this tendency to dawdle. Just it's like, bro, it's not working. Change it. It's fine. Like what you're doing is not working. So if you change it, we're not going to criticize you for changing it. Just fucking change it.
And the thing is, he's done it before in the past, especially in the first year of like us challenging for the title. He was never afraid to change things up.
Well, because those players fucking sucked. These ones are good. So he actually has to pretend he believes in them when it's not working.
No, I'm talking about like 22-23 season. Like the majority of those players are still kind of. I hope they don't suck, but in general, it's, with Chelsea, it's to me more of a how do you respond? How do you respond in a game where you could quite easily lose? Like, let's be honest, we could quite easily lose. Like, do the players go in there thinking, shit, we don't want to concede another goal? Or do we just go there and let's play our game? Like, do we have the goldfish memory and think, oh, the last game I remember us playing with Southampton or whatever, something like that, a good win of sorts, and just go in there with we're Arsenal, we've beaten them for God knows how many years kind of thing. We beat them 5-0 last time we played them. Let's just do that again kind of thing. Or is it, do we start slow, just keep the basics, stuff like that? I personally don't know what I would go with. What I would like to see us do is just be assured in our actions. Just be very, very assured in actions, which I think tonight is a good starting place. But don't let Chelsea feel as if, don't let Chelsea smell blood kind of thing. Because why I don't feel like they've got enough to really hurt and dominate us kind of thing. They are a side that's on the up, and they have got good players. So,
speaking of their players, Sancho probably won't be in the squad again. It's like 5 or 6 matches in a row.
Ooh, and Palmer. Palmer looks like a doubt apparently as well. So
yeah. Wow. You believe that shit? Whatever.
Well, he ducked the smoke last year, so.
Let's go over to Spain. We talked about Barcelona possibly having a big fight. Well, they got one against Sociedad this weekend, so that's going to be a very interesting game.
Not big enough. Barcelona's winning this.
Fair enough. Serie A, we got the Turin derby, Juventus versus Torino. So usually Juventus wins that one, but Torino might be sponsored by RB soon, so they might be powered by that. So there's that. Roma plays against Bologna. How do Roma bounce back? Because these guys have been crashing out, as the kids would say. So, yeah, they've been bad. They've been very, very bad. And Inter versus Napoli, which is probably the biggest game of the weekend outside of Chelsea and Arsenal. That game is going to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, money on Inter.
Yeah, it's the Lukaku derby. Let's see how it goes.
No, don't. It's not the
Although
Lukaku.
I am
It's
curious.
not the Lukaku derby. No, it's not. It's
I
not.
am
You don't
curious.
claim that nigga.
Oh my gosh. I'm curious to see how McTominay deals. Well, how they deal with McTominay. Should I say, like, do they put Canahoglu on him?
He ain't shit.
Yeah, you never know, man. Like, McTominay has a thing for these games, you know.
Not bothered.
You should have done the thing against Atalanta. Bundesliga, Stuttgart versus Frankfurt. It's gonna be a fun one. Stuttgart has been like have been flowing this season. They haven't been really too, but Frankfurt are coming off of that ass whooping that they had last week. So, it's gonna be a fun one, that one. And Leipzig versus Gladbach. How do Leipzig bounce back? So, that's that one over there. You don't have Leipzig winning, or you have Leipzig winning?
Honestly,
Gladbach are not good. Gladbach are terrible, but we'll see.
Yeah. And last but not least, Nice versus Lille. Can Jonathan David continue up his form? So that's the games for this weekend.
The answer is yes.
You know what? Somehow I think Nice is going to win this game.
Yeah, well, that's that. There's the Champions League and the weekend preview. So, fellas, we got one more international break. I'm so happy it's almost over, man.
It's ridiculous, man. It's actually ridiculous, man. I'm not gonna bitch and moan, but that's really fucked me off, man. Because just putting my Arsenal hat on, not that it's ever off kind of thing, but let's say imagine Arsenal have a good win, and then all that rhythm, that potential thing is just broken up straight away. Like, you don't get a chance to get into that rhythm because, you know what I'm saying, like, that fucks me off, man. That's so stupid.
Well, my brother, every year we have at least 3 in the fall and then 1 in the spring. It doesn't change.
Yeah. Well, before we leave, I just want to say something more general about what happened in the States here this week. I know a lot of you that listen to this pod, I imagine that you share very similar values and politics to those of us on this podcast. And I know that it feels very hopeless at the moment. And I ain't going to lie to you. Shit is fucked for probably the rest of our lifetimes. But when you feel like there's nothing you can do, all you can do is what you can. Take care of the people around you, take care of yourself, and let's just keep pushing together. Like we gonna make it one way or the other, regardless of what's going on around us. The world is always what it is. It's up to you to find the joy in it, regardless. So find your joy, and again, take care of yourself, take care of your people. It'll be okay.
You couldn't have said it better because it's been weighing on me heavy all day.
That wasn't for you, nigga. That was for them. Shut up.
I know. I'm glad you broke the ice though, because it's been something that's like it's been fucking with me all day. I never really had too much place to say where I want to say, but you said it very poignantly. So thank you, Dean. Appreciate you truly for that. So yeah, from us, we're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Take your shirt off.